All right, welcome back, guys. Welcome to Cloud DevOps Batch 54. So before I start the session, I would like to give a quick recap on what's being covered in the previous session. Previous session, we are talking about how Amazon or how infrastructure used to maintain availability using the concept of high availability. Also, we have seen the difference between region and zone and how to ensure that the infrastructure that we create is highly available. And we have also seen how licensing model in Windows works. Also, we have seen how licensing model in Linux works. And as yesterday, we have also seen how can we start learning Linux. And to start learning Linux, we need to have an Linux server in place. And for that, we can create a Linux server either by creating a server on your Oracle box, or you can practice them on the top of your Linux laptop, or you can also have your some online tools like Katakoda, or you can also create your AWS account and you can start learning on the top of it. Okay. As we discussed, AWS offers 1 year of free account. And as a part of the free tier, you can enjoy almost all of them absolutely free. But if you follow certain terms and conditions, what are those terms and conditions is something we are going to learn. We have seen, but yesterday I have given you an assignment that I want every one of you to create your AWS account and ensure you should be able to sign in. And yesterday our goal is we would like to create a server, and we have created a server and we have connected to that server. Also, we have seen there are two ways of connecting to the Linux based machines. One of the way is connecting using password and username, and another is username and keys. And also we have seen what is high availability and what is region and how billing works. Billing we haven't covered completely. Again, we'll cover that today. Okay, and we have seen what is the region, what is availability in detail we have seen. Okay, and we have also seen how what is the difference between virtual machine, server, instance, which provider uses what name. Also we have seen, and we also saw the difference why on cloud it's very easy to create a server, including the operating system installation. You can get a server in less than 1 minute. What is the logic behind that is also we have seen. Also we have seen the concept called as AMI. AMI stands for Amazon Machine Image. Using the pre-installed operating system on the top of the AMI, okay, we are getting whatever we want operating system which in pre-installed format which we are consuming it. Also, if a server is created in United States and if you are in India, if it is a Windows server, how can you connect? You need to install a software called as RDP. If you're using a Windows, RDP will be there by default. Okay, if you're using a MacBook, you need to install okay, install that. But we are not going to deal with Windows because majority of the scope with respect to web-based applications, everything is on the top of Linux. So we would like to talk on more on Linux. And as a part of the Linux, we want to connect to the server. If you want to connect to the server, if you are using a Windows based machine, you need to install SSH client. As a part of the training, we decided to start consuming Putty. We have installed Putty on the top of the computer and we have connected. Okay, as a part of the connection, which is nothing but the authentication, we discussed about Linux allows two ways of authentication. One way of authentication is using username and password, and another way of authentication is with username and keys. Okay, we have seen the usage with keys, which is not a recommended way at all, but we just learned for the sake of learning. But a few of the people reported that they are having challenges with this way of connection. However, this will be the last session where we are going to show you or see using the server with username and keys. We don't use that. Instead, we go with something called as username and password. However, since few of them are having challenges, I would like to iterate it one more time. Also, we have seen what is a public key and what is a private key. Yesterday, we have sent a public poll. 80% of the people who are joining the training know the difference between what is a public key and what is a private key. Public key is something which is not a sensitive information. Private key is more or less like a password with the 2048 characters, which is something private, which you should not give it to anyone. So on the top of your computer, you are going to keep your public key and a private key, and on the top of the server, you are going to have your public key. So that's how we are going to connect to the service. Also, we have seen EC2 stands for Elastic Cloud Compute. EC2 is the service. Okay, EC2 is a service which helps you in creating the server. All right. I could see that I have sent a poll that 98% of the people reported that their AWS account is activated. Thank you very much for that. Okay. All right. And also we have seen what is an EC2 instance. Okay. What is EC2 is also we have seen. EC2 stands for Elastic Cloud Compute, which is a service in AWS, which helps you in provisioning infrastructure to you in the form of service. Also, we have seen PuTTY. PuTTY is something which is an SSH client, which is a Windows-based environment, which we will be installing on the top of the Windows-based environment. And if you are using a Linux-based, you don't have to use it. Okay. Instead, you need to download some other format of keys called as PEM key. Okay, PuTTY is only for Windows, and if you're using Windows, use PPK format. However, majority of the people have requested to show me again one more time. So I would like to show it one more time, and then we would like to start again with server creation. And then another important thing is billing. Billing is also a very important thing. So I would like to start billing. Okay, and we also discussed public and private key. So yeah, that's it. Okay, I could see no questions in the chat window. So let's try to go ahead and create a server. All right, let me connect. All right, let me connect to the server. Let's sign off. Okay, so Amazon console, I'll click on this button and trainer.manovarma.6 a.m. Let me enter my password. Okay. All right. Now, which service we need to consume in order to create a server? EC2. EC2 stands for Elastic Cloud Compute. Click on this. Okay, so click on that service. Now I would like to launch a service. Okay, now I would like to launch a service. This server from yesterday, I forgot to terminate. So I don't need this. I just accidentally created and forgot to terminate. Yeah, so ensure as a part of the learning, ensure you always select North Virginia, because North Virginia is the region which has 6 availability zones, and it is one of the region which has less billing when compared to other regions. And North Virginia is the first region which was started by Amazon in 2006. And whatever the services or new features that Amazon wish to roll out, the majority of the times they releases the feature in North Virginia. So let's try to create servers in North Virginia as well. Okay. Now I would like to create a server. I would like to show one more time how to connect using PuTTY. Okay, so let's try to name it as batch 53 for Linux server, something like that. Okay, now I would like to search CentOS 7 image. So go to the community page and search for CentOS 7, just something like that. Okay, now you got a lot of images. Okay, you got a lot of images. I would like to select one image and then I would like to proceed. Okay, you can also search in the marketplace, whatever the images that are available, you can pick one among them. Okay, for example, I would like to select this, anything of your choice. Okay, so it's a part of the free tier. Certain images are costly. Okay, like Windows images or Mac images, you need to pay. But if you're using free tier, it's 100% free to you. Click this and it costs. Okay, so scroll down and ensure you're using what type of instance. Yesterday we have seen T2 micro is an instance which gives you 1 CPU of RAM and 1 CPU and 1 gig of RAM as a part of the free tier. There is also one more sort of instance which gives you T3 nano, but yeah, it's not. Earlier it was also free, but they removed it. So T2 micro is free tier eligible. Click on that. And I would like to proceed with key pair. So let's assume we don't have a key pair. I would like to generate a key pair. Now it is asking me, hey, you want to proceed with the key pair, right? Which key pair you want? I'm going to name it as B53. So B53, since I'm doing it for the second time, I'm just naming it as B53-2. Now key pair type should always be RSA. Okay, so and then there are two types of private key formats. One is PEM and another is PPK. If you're using Windows and if you're on the top of PuTTY, okay, if you're using PPK, that means it's a PuTTY private key, which means you need to use PuTTY to connect. For example, if you're using MacBook, okay, then prefer downloading this. For MacBook also, I would like to download today. and show you. Majority of the people are having some issues with that. So I would like to address it. All you need to do is just launch the instance. That's it. Okay, let's wait for it. And yesterday, someone have asked me, hey Manu, you're using username as CentOS. How do you come to know that the username is CentOS? How do I come to know is? So this is this. So I know CentOS gives the default user account as CentOS. For example, if you're using Red Hat, these guys gives you the username as EC2-user. Okay, how do we come to know? There is a either you can search in the documentation, or it comes with experience, or if you don't want both of them, instead how can we logically know that? There is a small tip to know that. At the end of the session I'm going to tell. So whatever the image that you use, if it is a Linux, how can we get to know what is the default user account that we need to use? All right, all right guys, perfect. Okay, Abhishek, I'll address that question, just hold that. Okay, so my server is ready. Okay, my B42 key is also ready. All I need to do is I just need to open my putty. Just type your Windows button, putty. Now enter this. Now copy the public key. And at the same time, we have seen yesterday what is the status checks, what is instance status checks, and what is system status checks. One is software check and another is hardware check. And we have also seen the status here as, instead of running, we have also seen the status as pending. When you say the status as pending, that means Amazon has not yet allocated the required resources to you. Okay, whenever you're using free tier account, or whenever you're using free tier eligible instances, majority of the times, as per the Amazon's resources availability, you will be given immediately, or it will take 1 or 2 minutes time also to give resources to the free tier accounts. Okay, because they do business, they want to give priority to the enterprise customers. So as per the resource availability, you get the resources. But if you use North Virginia is one of the region which has high infrastructure capacity. So majority of the times your request will be processed, even though you are a part of the free tier. Okay, I just opened my putty, copy this and put the IP address here. And majority of them are asking where I need to browse all these things. So all you need to do is just click on SSH. In the left side, you have a plus button. Click that plus button. And the moment you click the plus button, you also have something called as auth. Click on the auth. Then you need to browse your private key. Then you need to browse your private key. In my case, B532-2 PPK is a private key. Open it. Now, when you're connecting to the server for the very first time from one unknown place, okay, I am connecting to my laptop to the server. The server is aware, hey, someone is trying to connect to you for the very first time. Do you want to register that identity or not? Okay, you need to say yes. From the next time, now enter it as CentOS. Now you don't have to mention the password. Now you have connected to the server. Uptime is a command in Linux which shows you since when the machine is up. But yeah, we'll again learn what is uptime, all these commands. But I just want to show you we can connect using this. All right. Any questions, anyone? Okay. Now you can also use something called as, okay, this is only for MacBook users, people who are using MacBook. Okay. So all the Mac users, you don't have to install anything, but you need to download .pem format. Okay, and the command to connect is ssh -i. Okay, this is a command sni abc.pem and then CentOS, which is nothing but the username @IP address. This is just like what is your Gmail address? You say Bobby Brown @gmail.com, right? Here, Bobby Brown is the username and gmail.com is the server name, right? Just like your IP address. Okay. So even your email address, everything are driven keeping the Linux machines in mind. Okay. So in the interest of MacBook users, let's try to see that as well. So I would like to show how to connect using MacBook. Okay. So let's assume. Okay, let's assume you don't. Okay, I would like to launch one more time, just because to show you how to connect by the MacBook users. MacBook demo, something like that. I would like to browse it and go to the marketplace and just type CentOS space 7. That's going to give you the CentOS image. Click the image and continue. And you continued. And then just say, I would like to create a key pair. I would like to create a PK. So this is only for the people who are using MacBook. Okay. However, we are not going to use this PEM PPK anytime. This will be the last time we are going to use. Okay. So I would like to download it. P53-PEM. Okay. So all you need to do is you need to select RSA as usual. Instead of PPK, you are selecting PEM. This is only for the people who are using either Linux machines or the Mac machines, not for the Windows guys. Okay. Click this. Now your PEM file is downloaded. All you need to do is just launch the instance. Now it's going to launch you the instance. And once the instance is launched, you need to check whether the system status checks and the instance status checks are showing up or not. Click on it. Now MacBook demo. And if you see the status is pending. When you say pending, AWS has not yet allocated resources to your request. So let's wait for it to come up. You can also check the status here. The status checks are still pending because resources were not yet allocated to you by your Amazon. So you need to wait till the request comes up. Okay. Let's wait for it. Okay. So if you see this request came to running state, and sometimes you'll also see a state called as a failure. Whenever there is a hardware failure, you'll also see that state. But yeah, that's very rare. Even I have seen just once or twice in my last 11 years with my AWS experience. Okay, now you have downloaded that, copy that. Now all you need to do is you need to open a command line. Okay, so this is only for the MacBook users. So guys, I have a terminal installed. Okay, just to demonstrate you guys. Okay, in your case, all you need to do is just right click and open terminal. For MacBook, just right click and click on open terminal. Okay, the moment you open the terminal, you will have something like this. Okay, so and if you are using Windows 11 machine, okay, you also get this by default. Okay, and from Windows 11, guys, Windows is not no longer just Windows. Windows kernel is Linux. Okay, in the big battle of Windows versus Linux, Windows Linux has clearly won the game. When Microsoft was taken over by Satya Nadella, he clearly made a statement that Microsoft loves Linux. Okay, Microsoft and Linux are very big rivalries. Even Bill Gates had made some, how do you say, some negative statements about Linux, and Linux guys also used to make some bad statement about Microsoft and how they make money and all. But yeah, it's just business. So Microsoft loves Linux. When Satya Nadella took this Microsoft, he started his when he made his first public appearance, he just made Microsoft is not an enemy to Linux. Microsoft loves Linux. Okay, they know that 99.99% of the enterprise market is on the top of Linux, and they clearly see the potential of the Linux, and they started adopting the Linux. I think from Windows 11 or 12, whatever the Windows operating system that you get is a Linux kernel based, and that's the reason how MacBook users used to have a terminal, a default terminal or a console. Similarly, even Windows laptops used to have now. Okay, anyone who is using Windows 11 or 12, just check, you will have a terminal by default. Okay, so MacBook guys, in case if you open this, you'll get some terminal like this. All you need to do is, okay, all you need to do is you just need to connect. Okay, so SSH-I, and where you have downloaded that file name .pem followed by CentOS @ IP address. This is the IP address, and you need to mention where is the file. Okay, for example, in my case, where is the file downloaded? You come here, and so where is your downloads? Okay, this is the PEM, right? Now, all you need to do is the same command you need to type. Okay, put this. Downloads B53 PEM. Okay, that's it. Same command you need to type SSH-I. You're telling where your PEM file is and you're connecting. That's it. You don't have to do anything. Hey, you're trying to connect to the server for the very first time. Are you sure? Do you want to proceed? Yes or no? Yes. Now you'll be connected to the server. All right. And this is the first and the last time we are going to use a server based authentication with username and password. Okay, with username and keys. We no longer use this, and this will be the last time. Okay, I want every one of you to start using, okay, the AMI that I'm going to mention. Okay, this I want every one of you to follow. Going forward, we will only use the AMIs that work with username and password only. Okay, but whatever the AMIs that you get in AWS Marketplace or Amazon forces you to use key-based authentication. But if you read security papers and almost all the big companies, they don't go with username and keys. Instead, they go with username and password. So for the purpose of lab, okay, whenever you are landed into any sort of issue, I should have an ease of commute. Okay, whenever you say, hey Manu, I'm having an issue with this article, I'm having an issue with this activity in the server, can you please help me out? The only thing I'll ask is send me the screenshot. I can connect to the server because we all work on the same lab machine. Okay, I have made a lab machine, and the name of the lab machine is, okay, DevOps Lab Image CentOS 7. Okay, I want every one of you to use DevOps Lab Image CentOS 7. Okay, this is the lab image, okay, or the AMI that I want every one of you to use. And this is available only in North Virginia, okay, because things are a little inexpensive in North Virginia. So going forward, I want every one of you to create servers using this DevOps Lab Image CentOS 7. And it works. This is the image which was published by me. Okay, even in our upcoming training sessions, I'm also going to teach you how to make your own AMIs as per your business requirement. It is as per my business requirement, since AWS is not offering me an AMI with username and password. And to demonstrate the best training experience, I made my own image, and as per my business, I am publishing it with you. Similarly, as per your own business, you can also make your own images. How to make that images and how to make it AMIs, all these things we'll talk about it in the upcoming session. For now, I want every one of you to start adopting or consuming this AMI as a part of your practice. I do not want any one of you to go with the conventional way of creating servers with username or going with keys. Going forward, we create servers without having keys, and every one of you, please start using only this lab image. And this lab image works with username and password, and the username is CentOS and the password is password123. P is in capital letter. Keep this point in mind. P is capital letter. If you don't use this, it won't work. Okay, CentOS is the username and this is the password. So let's go ahead and try to see whether it works or not. Okay, and also second important thing. Okay, so I want to tell you there are few other advanced SSH clients that we can use for a better experience. For example, if you see this, when we connect to the server and all, the experience is not good, right? It's looking some small, you cannot zoom in, zoom out. It's old way of doing, right? For example, if you want to have some modern tools where you can connect to multiple servers together at a time, where you want to zoom in, zoom out, if you want to have some better experience, there are a lot of SSH clients that are available. So SSH clients, these are famous SSH clients. SSH clients. Okay, so there are a lot of SSH clients that are available on Windows. Let me draw them. It's your choice. Okay, I'll show you one. You can use anything of your choice. So one is Excel. This is my personal choice. And there is also something called as Mobaxtem. This is also highly used in the companies. But both of them are not free. Both of them are paid tools. Do not install this on your corporate laptops because you'll be in trouble. Okay, these are free only for the personal use. I'm repeating again, if you are using a personal computer, just go ahead and install. But if you guys are practicing on the top of your corporate laptops, it's my sincere request, do not install. Okay, because you'll be landing into unnecessary troubles. Because This has to go as a proprietary. I mean, this needs a license. Okay, so ensure you do not install them if it is a company given laptop. If you're using your personal laptop, go ahead. And in training, this is what I'll be using because this is my personal choice. And this is free for personal use. This is for personal choice. Okay, similarly, even Windows, even MacBook has a very famous, famous SSH clients on MacBook. This is only for the MacBook guys. There is a famous tool called as iTerm or iTerm 2. That's a very famous. Okay, lot even in companies they allows this software. Okay, and the name of the software is iTerm or iTerm 2. Okay, so if you are a MacBook guy, all you need to do is Google item for MacBook. That's it. All you need to do is this command you need to execute. Brew install. Okay, so you just need to download it on your computer, on your MacBook, just unzip it. That's it. You get an item. Okay, this is also very famous terminal. But in case if you don't want it, you can also go with the default terminal. No objections. Okay, but if you are on Windows, if you want to have some nice experience, you can also use something called as Excel. So far we have used Putty and Excel I would like to use. So Putty I'm not much preferred. Since my college I'm using it, so I'm not much interested. Even for my training, it don't give me some better experience. So I would like to go with Excel, okay, which gives me some better experience. End of the day, all of them are tools which helps you to connect to your Linux servers. That's it. They don't do any magic out of it. Okay, so in order to create your Excel, all you need to do is you need to have a Gmail address. So for the sake of training, for the purpose of training, I have created an account. So this is the account. This is the account that I have created for the training. And all you need to do is just type Google and here just type Excel. Excel is a very famous tool, guys, okay, for connecting to Windows. And click on this. Okay, now all you need to say is, okay, because they give you only 30-day evaluation, you can click on free licensing page. This is only for Windows. Scroll down, just say this is for me, Notch Verma, and this is my Gmail address. In your case, you are going to install your email address. Just say, I only want Excel. I don't need of FTP and all. Done. Okay, this is says only for non-commercial use. And that's the reason I'm referring, do not install it on your corporate laptops. Okay, so thank you for requesting a download of the software. Just go ahead and try to open the soft mailbox. You'll get a download link and you got it. And this is lifelong free if you're using it for personal purpose. Okay, and it is downloading. It's a 45 MB software. It should be fairly quick. And all you need to do is you just need to install it. It's a .exe file. You can just click next, 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 next. Okay, I don't want to install because I already have it. Okay, once you install, you just type your Windows button and say Excel. Boom, you'll have your instance ready. Okay, you can open multiple instances. Okay, if you want to connect to because in our training as a part of this we are going to work on 2 to 3 projects, and one of the project has 4 servers and one of the project has 13 servers. We might end up connecting to multiple servers, and to give you better experience and better user experience, I want to go with Excel. This gives you some better experience like zoom in, zoom out, you can switch between the tabs. All these things are available. Okay, all right. I also sincerely request every Windows user to install something called as Git Bash. If you are a Linux or a MacBook guy, okay, so here are the softwares I wish everyone to install. Okay, softwares to be installed for Windows guys. Okay, if you are using a Windows laptop, Excel is needed. Next thing, Git Bash. Git Bash is also a command line utility. For MacBook or Linux guys, they'll have a default terminal. Just like how I have a default terminal, I want you guys to have a default terminal. so that you can connect to the servers and you can do a lot of activity. So I want you to install this as well. And if you are a MacBook guy, you don't have to install anything. Okay, you are good to go. Okay, you're good to go. If you wish, you can install item. If not, that's fine. That's not a mandatory, by the way. If you want, you can. Okay, this we have already installed. Okay, this we have already installed. So yeah, when the time comes up, I'll also tell you how to install Git Bash. But for now, I have installed my Git Bash. Okay, now we are talking about, okay, connecting to the servers using a username and password. So by default, all the AMIs that are available on AWS offers you with username and keys only. But somehow we did some tuning and ensure that we got the required things in username and password, because in corporate we use that way. So even in training, I want to adopt that way. So I would like to start creating server on the top of the AMI that I want every one of you to start using. And the name of the image is DevOps Lab Image CentOS 7. In order to consume this image, in order to avail this image, ensure you are in the North Virginia and use this credential CentOS and password as password123, where P is in the uppercase letters. Okay. I could see a couple of hands raised. Vijay, please go ahead. I could see your hand raised. So Abhishek, I could see, is there any software that we can install in corporate laptop? If you're using a Windows laptop, just install Putty, that no one cares. Okay,
Sir,
you can go ahead with
sir,
installing with the Putty. Yes, Vijaya, please go ahead.
this I was just confused with user and client.
A client is nothing but, okay, there are two types, a server and client. A server is nothing but something which is serving. A client is nothing but you who is accessing. Okay, if you are connecting to a server, you are a client. You are opening your Facebook account, you are a client, and Facebook is a server. A client and a server, in general, normal terms only. Okay,
Yeah, yeah. Thank you.
make sense? Clear?
No, we normally, when we are creating an instance, we create normally with the caption as user, right? Username everywhere.
Not
When we are
really.
creating instance.
Not really. Each and every company follows their own way of naming standards. Okay, there is something called as naming standard. What is the name standard that you need to follow in the project X? Okay, each and every company will have their project needs and project naming standards. That is also we are going to cover as a part of the training. It's not like randomly we create the servers with the random names. We follow the standards as well. Okay, each and every company will have their naming standards. We'll follow the best naming standard, which is highly adopted. Okay,
So both are same, right, sir?
no, both are not same. Both are different.
Okay,
All
so
right.
we are not creating the client right now.
First of all, as per your understanding, what is a client? Let's come to that point.
No, that I'm aware that what is client normally.
A
Who
client.
is yeah, we connect to the server, that is client.
No,
so
a server is a server, a client is a client. Those two are two independent units. You as a user connecting to the server is a client.
Correct. So both the user and client are the same.
Yes, you're right. Can be referred as
now,
same, not all the time. In this situation, yes, you are true, but that's not a holistic way. Okay, let's not that we cannot generalize that. Okay, but in this situation, you're true. You're right.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Rahul, go ahead.
Good morning, sir. A while back you said that Microsoft loves Linux, and with Windows 11 we get a default terminal.
Yeah.
So
Windows
why?
11 or 11 plus.
Yeah, but in the other versions of Windows also we get command prompt, right? So why are we not considering that?
That is a PowerShell. PowerShell and regular command line, Linux-based command line, both of them are different, right? Whatever you're referring is PowerShell. That is to interact with the Windows.
So SSH command doesn't work in this environment.
No, it's not about it works or not. All the commands that you execute are Windows based commands. If you want to interact with Windows Server, you need to have a client, right? Just like your SSH client putty. Similarly, you'll be using PowerShell to interact with the server directly. This is the command line interface of Windows. Let's consider that way.
Okay, so over here RDP will work, and
RDP is just to connect. Okay. For example,
okay.
whatever the task that you are doing on the GUI, you can also do it on the top of PowerShell. Okay. But this is meant for Windows. Okay.
Okay.
But can I do everything, whatever I'm doing on graphical user interface on PowerShell? The answer is no. Okay.
Okay. Yes.
All right. Can you lower? All right. I think I answered all the question. Is there any software which can, I think I addressed everything. Let's proceed. Now I would like to create one more server with the lab image, DevOps lab image CentOS 7, so that I could like to show you the experience on Xshell. Okay. Let's go ahead and create a server one more time. So let me terminate all of them. So guys, you have, whenever you don't want any server, you have options. Stop the service, reboot the service. Okay. Start the service, stop the service, start the instance, stop the instance, reboot the instance, and terminate the instance. So terminate is a word which indicates destroying the instance. When you destroyed the instance, gone, you cannot retro it back. It's like technically deleting the instance. Okay, so whenever you don't want during the lab, either you can terminate the instance or stop the instance. Till the time you get more familiarized with the AWS usage and all such things, ensure you terminate the instances when you don't need them anymore. This ensures that you effectively use the free tier. Okay, so let me try to launch an instance again. Abhishek, what if we do not terminate the server? We'll talk about it. We have a topic called as billing. Let's talk about that in billing. Okay, so lab server with password. I'm just giving a name. Okay, I'm just giving a name. So, but this is not the standard that we follow in companies' names. So we'll talk about the naming standards in some time, not today, in the upcoming sessions. But for now, let's try to go ahead, browse the images. You click the community MIs. I published the image in the community. All you need to do is DevOps hyphen lab image hyphen CentOS 7. Just, just type this. Okay, if you see this in the community MI, you can see DevOps lab image CentOS 7. I published this image in the month of February, and that's the reason it is telling 8th of Feb 2023 is what it is telling. Now I would like to select this image. Okay, now I don't no longer use putty. Okay, MacBook users will use item and I'll use Xshell. Okay, so that's it. Now scroll down, ensure you're selecting the free tier. And here, okay, do not create a key pair or do not select the key pair. I repeat again, do not select the key pair or do not create the key pair. I want every one of you to choose an option called as proceed without a key pair. They say it is not recommended. That's fine. Okay, this is the recommended way as per the security standards. So as per my company's standard, I want to connect to the server using a username and a password. With that context in mind, I would like to create a server without a username and password. If you are using my lab image and if you're selecting some other key pair, it will not work. Whenever you're using DevOps lab image CentOS 7 in the North Virginia, inside the community MIs, ensure you select proceed without a key pair. Then only the server will be accessible or authentication works with username and password. I don't do anything else, just I'll click it launch. Now the server will be launched. Let's wait for the server to launch. Okay, now the server is launched. Let's wait for it to launch completely. All right, now the server is coming up. And if you see the status as pending, which means the resources were not allocated to Amazon. So that's fine. Let's wait for it. Let's wait for a running state. All right. Okay, now copy with this. Now open your Excel, XSH on the Windows. Now it's going to open. All you need to do is just say SSH. I want to connect to the server using SSH. Now you need to mention what is the username that you want to use to connect. CentOS. At the rate, it is just like what is your email address? bobbybrown@gmail.com. Bobby Brown is a username. At the rate gmail.com is a server address, right? Similarly, and SSH is a protocol which we use to connect to the Linux based machines. From today, whatever we do, we prefer doing in the form of commands so that things will be institutionalized and those will be injected into your mind so quick. Okay, I'll try to use as much as possible the highly used commands so that you will be used to it. Even if you're a MacBook user or a Windows user, you need to use SSH CentOS, which is nothing but the username. Okay, and when you join any company, for example, your name is Bobby Brown, you will have Bobby Brown SSH Bobby Brown at the rate the IP address. Okay, SSH is the protocol that we are using. CentOS is the username, and at the rate IP address. Okay, now it asks you, okay, same thing. Hey, you're trying to connect to the server for the very first time from this machine. Do you want to register the fingerprint into the server? Yes. Fingerprint is nothing but the identity. Okay, now it asks you enter your password. What is the password, guys? Password 123, P as in capital letter. Now you are connected to the server. Why it didn't work? Why? What happened to this? What happened to this? Password 123. Okay, let me try it one more time. At the rate. Use P capital. What happened? What I did? Is my server completely up, by the way? Let me check that. It's still initializing. Let it wait to come up completely. Sorry. Let's wait for it to come up completely. I would like to wait for a minute. By the way, did I use the right image? Okay. I was using some wrong image. Okay, all right. That's fine. So we have another image. This is not the image. Sorry for that. So CentOS 7 Linux Learning AMI, some other AMI. One second. I forgot what is the image to use. I think this is the image. DevOps lab image CentOS 7. No, 1 minute, guys. 1 minute. Public images CentOS 7 Linux. I just made an image for the beginners. Yeah, this is the image. CentOS 7 Linux Learning AMI. Okay, so the name is wrong. This is the name to use. One second, let me update it where it went. Okay, so AMI to use. Okay, AMI to use is this. CentOS 7 Linux Learning AMI. This is the AMI. Sorry for the trouble. Let me create it one more time. Launch an instance from my AMI. Again, let me show you CentOS 7. Launch the instance. Name it as CentOS 7 lab image. I use an incorrect image, guys. So come here and go to the community place and just type CentOS 7 Linux Learning. Click this. You will have one image, and this is the image that I have absolutely created for the purpose of lab. Okay, only for the lab I have created, only for learning Linux. Click this, and that's it. You don't have to choose anything else. All you need to do is proceed without a key pair. Launch an instance. Now it has launched the instance. Okay, now come here and let's wait for the server to come up. Now the status of it is in the pending state. Let's wait for it to come up completely. Now open your X shell meanwhile. SSH. CentOS is nothing but the username of the AMI that I'm using. Enter. It takes time because the server is not yet up, because the status is showing pending. Let's wait for it. It came to the running state. So, but the status is still initializing. So let's wait for a minute and then we can try. Wonderful. Accept and save. Enter the password. Password as password 123. You're connected. And if you see this, okay, I also have mentioned some disclaimer telling that, okay, so welcome to the Cloud DevOps training. If you want to be a successful DevOps engineer, Linux is the first thing to start with. And yes, that's what we are doing. And this mission is designed only to learn Linux only. Okay, and usage on enterprise is not recommended. So do not use this in your enterprise, or do not use this in your companies or in the projects, even though it is free. And if you need any help with respect to Linux, just please reach out to me. Okay, so this I have given some nice welcome message, right? You can also make your nice Linux welcome messages and you can customize it things of your choice. Okay, when you start learning things, okay, when you're very much clear with the Linux, you can also do all these customizations and all these things. Okay, so I'm repeating again. So the lab image to use is Linux. Okay, Linux CentOS 7 Linux Learning AMI, and this is the AMI which is available only in North Virginia. And please use CentOS and password as password 123 are the credentials. Now I know what is EC2. I know how to create a server, and then I know how to connect to the server using username and password. I also know how to use something called as passwordless authentication. Passwordless authentication is nothing but the key pair based authentication. We know all of it, and we have also know how to connect using the customized AMI, which helps you the experience of connecting to the servers with username and password. But Mano, how about the billing? Why Amazon has to give everything as for free? No, no one will give you anything for free. Everything is pay as you go model. That means you are going to pay bill for what you have used. Okay, you're going to pay bill for whatever you have used. All right. So how billing works in Amazon? Okay, first of all, let me send a poll. How many of you are clear with server creation? Let me send a poll. Is server creation, is lab server creation clear? Guys, I just sent a poll. Guys, let's just respond. I just launched it. Is the lab server creation clear? All right, perfect, perfect. 100% said yes, wonderful. All right, that's a good sign. That's interesting. Perfect, perfect, guys. This is what I'm expecting. Perfect. Okay, 100% of them reported that they are clear with the server creation. So we are good. Let's proceed further. Now, how billing works in AWS? How billing works in AWS? So billing works in AWS in pay-as-you-go fashion. It works in pay-as-you-go.
One question. Yeah, if I'm not able to install Excel, if I can use Putty, right?
Yeah, straight. Both of them does the same job.
Yeah, in this way, how can I use with the username and password with the options? Can you show them?
How can we use with?
Username and password. Because earlier we used with the private key, right?
Same. So
Same.
in our case, what is the username? Same thing. Nothing changes. Okay. Copy this if you are using Putty and put the IP address and enter the username as CentOS and password. That's it. Okay. Some incorrect. I typed incorrect, but yeah, that's it. You are entering the username and you are entering the password. That's all. Make sense?
Yeah.
All right. That's it. So yeah, that's it, guys. If you want, let me show you. Let me connect. Okay. Oh, I opened the Putty. I entered the username and I said I'm trying to connect to the server for the very first time and I'm entering the password as password 123. Okay. Now you got everything. Is it clear, Srimati Radha?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. You can lower your hand. All right. Billing in AWS works on pay-as-you-go model, and you'll get bill once, and we need to pay. And if you don't pay the bill, your account will be suspended. So that's how you need to ensure that you efficiently use. Okay, we'll also configure some billing alerts and all such things. But before that, okay, not entirely how billing works in AWS is not just based on pay as you go. Yes, absolutely, it is pay as you go only. But certain services operate in certain way. But since we're talking about EC2, how billing works in EC2, how you will be billed on BC2, how billing works in AD, how billing works in an EC2 service. Okay. Okay. And billing in EC2 works based on consumption. Okay. Based on the type of server you're using and based on the type of you're using and based on the operating system that you're using. When you say type of server, I'm referring to the instance type. An instance type is nothing but a server, a combination of CPU plus memory. In our case, we have seen T3.micro or T2.micro is something which is given free. And also I could see a couple of questions. What is T3 and T2? Okay. So guys, when Amazon started its business, they started with something called as T1. T1 is nothing but the first generation hardware. Even hardware, just like your processor, first generation Intel, fourth generation processor, fifth generation processor, seventh generation processor, like that we have, right? Similarly, even for hardwares, there are some generations. Okay. So Amazon, when they have done the hardware refresh, okay, from 2006 to 2012 or 13, okay, T1 is a series, T1, first generation hardware. T2, I think from 2013 to 14, okay, 2014 to 2021, okay, they were using second generation hardware. And when you see T3, this is the third generation hardware. It was introduced in 2001, which is nothing but the brand new hardware. Why they buy hardware all the time? We have seen there is a concept called as hardware refresh. When they buy hardware from the providers like Cisco, IBM, all these things, they provide support for a certain time. And after that, they need to upgrade their hardware or perform recycling. So as a part of that, they buy the hardware. And that's the reason they are referring T2, second generation hardware, 3, third generation hardware. Okay, nothing, nothing much difference than that. Yesterday, few of them have requested me this. So I would like to highlight this. Okay, coming back to the story, how billing works in EC2 works. Billing works based on the type of server, which is nothing but the operating system you're using, based on the instance type that you're using, and based on the size of the disk or storage. Okay, you are consuming. These factors affects the billing with respect to your EC2. Okay, so not just that. Okay, not just that. In EC2, there are with respect to billing in EC2, there are 3 varieties of hardware instances. This is very important, guys, very, very important. So one type of instance is on-demand instance. When I say something as on-demand, what exactly I meant? Let's see. And second type of instance is reserved instance. And third type of instance is spot instance. Okay, on-demand instance, reserved instance, and spot instance. And spot is like gold. Okay, it's a gold instance. Okay, this is a gold instance. Okay, because it is potentially it's gold. Okay, so I don't use this. So these are the 3 different varieties of instances that are offered in Amazon or in any cloud provider. Just the names changes, but the concept of instance types remains the same. Okay, so what exactly these are? Let's try to understand them. Okay, so guys, I'll give you one example. You got a job in Bangalore, and you went and you saw some nice 1 BHK flat, and you don't know when your training will be completed, and you don't know when you will be moved out of Bangalore. You might go to Bombay, you might go to Hyderabad, whatsoever it may be. Right now, if you go to the house owner and if you say them, sir, I would like to stay here for 1 month or 1.5 months or 2 months, he would say more, right? For the same 1 BHK flat. Okay, if you say, I would like to stay here just for 2 months or 3 months, what he might say, okay, I would like to charge you 20,000 because you are staying here for a long time, right? Long term. You're staying here for a short term. They are asking you, since you don't stay here for a longer time, so they charge you high. For the same 1 BHK flat, another person goes and says, sir, I got a job here. I'm planning to stay here for 2 years or 3 years. How much discount they'll give, guys? The same flat, you would get it for 15,000 or even 12,000. Why? Why? What is the reason for that? Why the same flat you get one guy is have to pay 20,000 and one guy have to pay 13,000? Why? Why?
Because he's going to stay for a long time.
Exactly. That means the person who went for the second time, who got the 13,000, he is giving commitment, right? He's giving you the commitment. And if you're staying in states, and this concept is called as a lease. Okay. For example, if you commit that I'm going to stay here for 3 years and they're going to give you some nice discount, like you almost got 35% discount you got, right? For example, if you break the lease, right? For example, when you give a commitment that I'm going to stay here for 1 year or 3 years, but you just left before 1 year or 3 years, you just need to pay some penalty like 3 months or 6 months, right? Agree or not? So whenever you're having a vision to stay somewhere for a long term, you give a commitment telling that I'm going to stay here for a long term and I would like to have some discount. Okay, the same concept even here, it's called as reserved instance. Okay, so first on-demand instance is nothing but you're not sure when you are going to create the server and when you are going to terminate the server. You're not sure. On ad hoc basis, you're creating the server and you're destroying the server. In here, billing is very, very high. Very high. Okay. And typically when you join any company, okay, your company product manager or your company representative will talk to AWS TAM. In AWS, there is a terminology called as a TAM. TAM stands for Technical Account Manager. Okay. So your account management and your project management team and the AWS account management team will have some commitment telling that, okay, we are going to use, okay, they'll give a commitment telling that we will use 1000 CPU and 1000 CPU and 2 TB of RAM, 2 TB memory. Okay, and we will give you commitment that we are going to use it for 3 years. How much discount you'll get it? How much discount you'll give me? How much discount you'll give? Amazon gives you almost 40 to 50% discount you'll get. Okay, so majority of the times, not majority of the times, you see you already have this type of instances. Your company already had a negotiation with the AWS or the cloud provider telling that we want to use North Virginia region, and our project demands 1000 CPU and 2 terabyte of memory, and we can give you commitment that we are going to use your resources for 3 years. How much discount you'll give me? They say, I'll give you 30%, 40%, 50%, and your billing will be based on that. But another thing, whether you use it or not, they don't care, but still you need to pay the bill. Okay, whether you're going to stay or not is secondary thing, but since you have given a commitment, you need to pay. Okay, that one point. But this is what I have, wherever I have seen the, you see majority of the times you see reserved instances. Okay. All right, what is spot? For spot, I need almost 1 hour of time to discuss, because this is a killer. Okay, this is going to save 90%, 95% of the amount. So it's you get 95% discount, 95 to 98% discount if you use this. But there are some trade-offs, which we discuss those trade-offs, all these things in the next session. But the spot is gold. In any interview, you go to any cloud DevOps interviews, they'll ask you 1 or 2 questions related to that. Okay, and when you want to save some billing to your company, when you join any company, okay, when you join any company, you get these kind of things. Okay, you get an opportunity to give some discount to your company. You can go ahead with this type of spot instances. But what is spot, we'll talk about it tomorrow. Okay, so another thing, when how do you come to know how much is the billing that you get, all such things? First, when how the requirement comes to you. So the requirement, whenever there is a requirement to provision a server, usually how it works. Okay, how it works. So for example, you'll get a requirement. Hey, I need a server, Linux CentOS 7 server with 8 GB RAM and 8 GB RAM and 4 CPU, and you would need 400 GB disk in North Virginia region. This is how the requirement you get it. Okay, now as soon as you get the requirement, you will never go ahead and straight away I have access to AWS and I'm a cloud engineer, I'm going to provision the server. No, you will never do like that way. So here are the questions you will ask. First thing, how long you're planning to use? Okay, how long you're planning to use? What type of applications are you going to run? Okay, and why you need these many resources? Okay, is your manager approved this? Okay, if the request is coming from the application team manager has to approve this request. Using that approval, your cloud team, a cloud team lead or manager has to approve. Then only you're going to provision it. Okay, based on billing. Okay, you also need to calculate billing based on the above inputs, based on the above resources. You also need to do the billing. Okay, how billing works, let's try to see that. Okay, so AWS has the billing calculator. So these are very important, guys. Okay, it's not like you have resources to access to AWS, you'll straight away go ahead and create that. No, there are some things that you need to consider before going ahead. I could see one question. What is dedicated type? What about dedicated type? We'll talk about the dedicated type later, Prabhu. But for now, dedicated. Okay, but for now, let's stick to that. It falls under a different category. Okay, I don't want to talk about that. It creates a sense of confusion at this point of time. So I would like to park it first after some time. What type of application mean? That can be anything. For example, if it is an e-commerce application, your payment can be one application, your login can be one application, your catalog can be one application. Application can be anything as per your business where you are. If you're working for a bank, you use a mobile application, okay, the application has, okay, the moment you enter your username and password, it has to do some validation, right? The validation can be some application, okay, anything, that can be anything. All right. Now, how can I check the calculations? Okay, let's go ahead. Okay, now AWS calculator, AWS billing calculator. Now click on the pricing calculator, and the billing varies based on the region, and you need to create an estimate. Now I'm creating the estimate based on the location type or all the services. I would like to create by location so that this gives you precise. Now I have to search, and because my project is based out of North Virginia, I would like to create the infrastructure in North Virginia. So I would like to check the billing in North Virginia. Click on that. Now, which service you would like to do the billing? I would like to check for EC2 how much it is costing. Search for EC2 and click on configure, and it asks you here. Okay, either you can go with instance type. Okay, this is, you need to mention description. This is created to demonstrate billing on EC2. Okay, for batch 54 engineers. Okay, now I selected the region. Now you, whether what type of instances you want, whether shared instance, or dedicated host. Prabhu, this is what you're referring. Okay, for now we are only talking about shared instances. Okay, one hardware, multiple servers, and multiple servers can be used by multiple people. Okay, so the operating system type that we are using is Linux or Windows, whatever it may be. In our case, we are going with open source Linux. Click the Linux. And how many number of servers you want? Let's try to consider it for one. Okay, now either you can do the calculation based on the number of CPUs and the number of and the amount of memory that you consume, or you can also go with instance type. So for example, I would like to go with T3.2x large. So, all right. So it has given me T3 large. T3 large is going to give me 2 CPUs and 8 gigs of memory. I would like to go with T3.2x large. Okay, T3.2x large. It is going to give me 8 CPUs and 32 gigs of memory. Click this. And you need to mention, okay, so whether you want to go with on demand, or whether you want to go with savings plan, or whether you want to go with spot instance. For now, I would like it to go with on demand, and it asks you what is the usage of it per day, how much, how many per day, how many hours you are going to use, what is the utilization per month, or what is the utilization per day. For example, your business starts by morning 6 o'clock and completes by evening 6 o'clock. So there is no point in running round the clock. You can mention per day 50% I'm using or 12 hours you're using. Okay, instead you can also mention hours per month. Okay, you can mention not hours, utilization percentage per month. I would say 100%. That means the server that I'm going to create will work around the clock. Okay, now I would like to see how much it's going to cost me. What it says $242 per month. All right, so if you go with 3x large on demand, of T3.2x large. Okay, so the monthly billing is, sorry, the monthly billing is $243. $243 per month. How much per year? So open your calculator. 243 into 12. It's going to cost you 2916. Okay, $2916 per year. For example, if the same instance, if you go with reserved, okay, if you give commitment to Amazon, hey, I'm going to use this for 3 years or 2 years, let's see how much discount you'll get it. Okay, let's see. Okay, now for the same, what I'm going to do is I'm going to mention, I would like to go with the savings plan. And I would like to tell how much, okay, right, as of this recording, okay, 16th of May, AWS offers 2 categories of savings plan. One is 1 year and 3 year commitment only. Okay, you're going to tell, I would like to go with 1 year. And you can also mention, I am going to pay all the 1 year amount together now, right now. Okay, that means I'm going to pay all the upfront now. How much discount you'll give? Or I don't want to pay any upfront to you, but give me how much discount you're going to give. Okay, for example, if you get 10,000 billing, I'm ready to pay 5,000 right now. Give me discount on rest of the 5,000. That is one category. I would like to say no upfront and see how much billing you get it. If you see this, 152.28 per month. That means 153. Okay, so just calculate 153 into 12, 1836. Okay, if the same server, if you give 3-year commitment, for example, again, you come here and rather than saying 1 year, if you give 3-year commitment, what is the billing you are getting? 104. Come here, 104. If you give a 3-year commitment, 104. And if you see this, 104 into 12. You get it for 1248. Okay, but this is if you give 1 year commitment on 1 year commitment. But there is a catch here. Okay, let me tell you the catch. On 3-year commitment. Okay, this is on 3-year commitment. So if you see this, if you go on demand, okay, when you go with a commitment, you're almost getting 70% of the discount you're getting. In companies, majority of the times you see reserved instances. Okay, by the time you join, they would have all the discussions, and they'll also tell you, anyone who wants to create the servers, ensure you use T3 series only, T3 series, some X series machines only you use. Don't use C series, we don't have discounts. Don't use X series, we don't have discounts. Like that, your management will tell you because your company had a discount or a discussion based on the usage. And another thing, you have taken a on-demand, you have taken a reserved instance. It doesn't mean that only when you use, you'll be billed. No, you have given a commitment to Amazon, and based on that, they have given you discount. Now they don't care whether you use it or not. Okay, you have given a commitment telling I'm going to use. Now it's up to you whether you use it or not. If you use, you have to bill. Even if you don't use, you have to pay the bill. All right. All right, guys. Perfect. And also there is another category of instances. If you see at the top, there is something called as a tenancy. Go top. Okay, tenancy. Tenancy is nothing but what type of instances, okay? Whether you want a shared instance, dedicated instance, or a dedicated host. Okay, so for example, guys, there are certain data complaint companies like banks, insurance companies, and all. Okay, so this is your hardware, physical server. And okay, so if you just create a server, okay, you can create a number of virtual machines on the top of this. It can be from Flipkart, and this server that you have created might be for Flipkart. Okay, maybe the server which you have, one more server that you have created, this would be from Myntra. Okay, and another company, they would have created this, Google might have created here. Okay, this type of model is called as shared hardware. Okay, or shared tenancy. Tenancy is nothing but tenants. Okay. Okay, here you get the billing for less, but there are certain companies where they don't want other machines to run on the hardware where they're running. At the time, what you can do is you can go with a dedicated instance. That means the whole instance is only for you. Okay, the machines that are created for your company will only be created on this dedicated hardwares. Okay, Flipkart 1. Flipkart 2, but these are extremely costly only when companies that are related to banks or payment card related industry, they go with these options. But yeah, more or less everything remains the same. The only thing is that the tenancy, this is called as dedicated tenancy. Okay, so servers that are related to your own company will only be created in the hardware where you have dedicated. Here, the difference between them will be more than 10, 20 times. Okay, so yeah, Prabhu, hope I answered that. So yeah, and I'm good, guys. If you have any questions, you can ask. And one more thing, as I said, session timings remains the same. Okay, and meeting link remains the same. So meeting link remains the same. Okay, and as usual, session will start by 6 a.m. IST. Okay, meeting link remains the same till further notice, and session as usual start by 6 a.m. IST or 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Okay, meeting link remains the same. I'm good. If you have any questions, I'm ready to take up the questions, and we are good. Okay, we'll talk about the spot instances tomorrow in detail. I would need almost 1 hour of time because it is a very important topic. I don't even want to miss a single topic. So I'm good. If you have any questions, please raise your hand. I can address. I could see Vagesh. Go ahead, Vagesh.
If I have to delete my Amazon account after 1 year, how to delete it?
How to delete that? Just send an email that I don't want my account anymore to the support. They will do that. So tomorrow topic is how to connect with customer care. So we'll talk about that in tomorrow. We have an option here called as customer support option or the support center. You can reach them to do that. I can help you tomorrow to do that. Okay. So tomorrow topic is how to reach Amazon to increase some limits or to talk directly with them, or you are having some challenges with them. How do you connect with them is tomorrow's topic. So maybe that will be addressed tomorrow. Okay, Vagesh?
Okay.
But the answer is support center.
My based on I will ask you.
Sure. Thank you, Vagesh. Anyone else? Ram, go ahead. Manju, go ahead. Prabhu, Vagesh, Radha.
Yeah, hi, Manoj. Prabhu here.
Yeah, Prabhu.
The pricing page, we have seen that compute service plan and EC2 instance saving plan, right? So there are two different ones. So what is compute service saving plan and EC2 instance?
This one you're talking?
Yeah, the saving plan. Yeah, there are two, right?
I didn't get you.
The difference between compute saving plan and EC2 instance saving plan.
Okay, so this is only for EC2. Okay, so this is only for the EC2 service. Okay, but there are certain services, okay, called as RDS, Fargate, Lambda, which also uses compute in the background. Okay, but they don't consume the EC2 directly. Instead, they use the backend compute. In that case, if you want to go with that, end of the day, everything is a server, right? But if you're referring only to EC2 plain servers, this is what it is. And if you're referring to some services which are using the backend compute, then you need to go with this. Okay, that's what. Since we haven't covered, I didn't delve that. Okay.
Okay, so if you can assume that it's a collective of AWS services, right? So instead of single service, which is EC2.
Right. Then you need to go with multiple edition options in the beginning, right? You can select what all you want, and then you can click an estimate. Okay.
Okay.
Likewise. All right. Manju, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to know how we will come to know that the image which we have taken that is correct or not, because earlier.
What do you mean? I didn't get that question. Could you please repeat that?
Earlier, when you copied that server image, right? You have mentioned the name and you said that you have taken the wrong image, and then again you went back and check it. So how we manage that and how we will come to know that we have taken
because
that?
I am the one who created that image. Okay, that image should work with password 123 didn't work. So what I did, I realized that is not an image, and I went and checked that's not the image. So I just got to know. Okay, since I am the publisher of the image, I know that the password that I'm using is incorrect. Okay.
Okay, and are we able to keep track of those images? Because when we go to production, sometimes it happens that
1 minute. For example, this is CentOS 7 lab image, right? If you click this, just scroll down, you have an option called as AMI name. At that time, I was using a different image. And that's the reason I realized I have used an incorrect image. And that's why I just stopped it and I came and created one more server with CentOS 7 Linux Learning AMI. Okay. And if you want to track what are all AMIs that are available in your project in the same EC2 pane, I mean, guys, if you don't understand, that's fine. We haven't covered this. So if you click this, you can see the list of AMIs that are available in your project. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Others? Vineet Singh, go ahead. Vijaya, go ahead.
Yeah, it's like if we take in suppose 3 years plan, so we need to pay in a single shot, right? All the full amount, correct?
They offers both the ways. Either you can go with one at a time, all together at a time, or you can tell them I'm gonna pay right now something, rest of them monthly I'll pay, or I don't want, I just will give you commitment, but I can't pay anything upfront, but I can give you monthly once. That's also fine.
And we cannot break in between, right?
You cannot. Okay, you cannot.